Hello, welcome to this week's Monkey Nut Punch podcast with me, Gareth, and my esteemed colleague, Keith.
I'm getting used to the compliments now.
Oh, I'm going to start insulting you.
Yeah, it sticks in the mouth, doesn't it? Sticks in the
Really.
throat when you're nice.
Yeah, I know. I can't do it that often. But
Yeah.
how are we doing?
I'm good. I'm good. It's been a busy week, but I managed to catch a lot of television this week. So yeah, doing good. Managed to sit through a 4-hour movie. I had an excuse to do fuck all today.
I was supposed to go to the gym, and then I looked at the runtime of that, and I went, "Oh, I don't even know if I've got time to watch it before the podcast. I better start doing it now." So if it wasn't the extended edition, it's incredibly long.
Actually, the Fellowship is the shortest of the extended editions. It's only extended by 30 minutes. Return of the King, 50 minutes. It goes up. So the next one's 44 minutes of longer than the theoretic, and then the Return of the King is full 50 minutes.
Christ. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Well, we've got that to talk about in a bit.
Yes.
Because I can't remember watching extended editions. I really can't. So there was I've got some thoughts on it in places, and I've some bits to understand it. Got some news stories to go through. Godzilla, Gollum, the Acolyte, Doctor Who's viewing figures I want to look at.
Yep.
Because yeah, they're interesting, especially after yesterday's episode of Doctor Who.
Oh yeah. That's
God.
not the most egregious one. It was the week before, and we need to talk about that. Cause we'll talk about it in a minute. We'll do the news stories first. Yeah, we've got to definitely talk. We definitely have got to talk about the Acolyte. Oh wow!
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, and it's funny because I'm only planning on watching episode 3, which is supposed to be the terrible one. So I'm going to watch just
3
that
and
one.
4.
I'm just going to watch. Yeah. I don't plan on going past.
Oh, you've got to watch the first episode to see Trinity die within the first 5 minutes. We need to talk about that as well. Yeah, what should we do? Should we do the news first?
Yes, let's do the news first.
Hi, this is Nigel, and I'm talking in my lovely narrator's voice. Bask in its loveliness. But don't bask for too long. We need your help. Come to YouTube and watch our videos for the love of God. Well, send Keith round to your next barbecue and he'll eat all your food. Toasty! You have been warned.
So, Godzilla Minus One brings back old gripes as dubbing on Netflix's changes dialogue. There's been historic issues with dubbing. Bad dubbing has been a long-standing issue in cinema, especially with Eastern films imported to Western audiences. The problem persists in 2024, and it's not...
It's bad.
It's bad. It's usually the Hong Kong action flicks and Godzilla films are the ones that you notice that have really poor dubbing on it. And I remember watching, especially the one where the first time Godzilla fights Mechagodzilla, and I'm so sad because I actually watched that on Channel 4, and there's a bit where a guy dies and he clearly is dead and his mouth's shut, but he's still making groaning noises from the dubber, which was hilarious. So Netflix apparently altered lines from the Japanese theatrical version, changing the meaning behind certain pieces of dialogue. Yeah,
the most
I don't know,
and it totally ruins it. It totally. I don't watch it with dubbing. It's much if you watch this film Japanese subtitles, because they don't watch it with the dubbing. They've totally fucked it. Like, she sounds almost sarcastic at the end where she goes, "So is your war ended then?" Something along those lines. It's not the sort of you know, caring subtlety thing. It turns her into a sarcastic bitch. And it's not good. So I don't know where they get off doing this. It's bad, and it's not translation. It's some idiots fucking with the movie.
See, I always told everyone to watch it in Japanese with the subtitles.
Yeah, agreed.
Just the best way of doing it. It's annoying because it was the best film of 2023. I think when I found out it was on Netflix on Monday evening or Tuesday evening, I just sent a load of text messages to everyone saying, watch Godzilla. The Japanese subs in that. And it's like, it's a Godzilla film. It's not a Godzilla film. It just happens to have Godzilla in it. It's really good. Yeah, I have to go back and watch it with the dub on, just that last bit towards the end, just to see.
Well, read it because it's in the title. But I noticed it when I checked it on Netflix, and I zoomed to the end to just see that, you know, the G cells that she's got again, but it totally changes it. So here we go. I think it's originally.
Yeah, so originally she says, "Is your war finally over?" Which is good. Can this war of yours be over soon?
Yeah,
finally be done. Oh my god, it's even longer.
Yeah, it's totally. It doesn't work, and it's not bad translation. It's not bad translation. They've changed it for whatever reason, and it's a real shame because not everybody's going to watch it with the subtitles. I recommend that you do, because it's a much better movie in the and it's not translation because the subtitles are translated well.
Yeah. I think. Do you think they wanted her to have a touch of girl boss about her?
Yes. Yes.
Oh.
I think some silly wokey wokes in Hollywood just can't help turning women into bitches. Because all these wokey wokes are actually really horrible people. Well, they are. I mean, Russell T. Davies is a right little bitch. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. These woke people are truly horrible people. It's a mask of loveliness that they wear, but all it is they're just violent, volatile morons. The amount of times that you post something criticizing, well, don't watch it then. It's like, I'm not. No one else is either.
Yeah, I love that. Don't watch it. No one's watching our films. Nobody's watching our TV series. You told us not to watch it. You said it wasn't for us, so we didn't turn up. We said no. Okay, fair enough. It doesn't look like for us. We don't. Sci-fi people don't tend to like musicals. So the first episode of your new TV series about a science fiction thing happened to be a musical. Guess what? They all fucking ducked out. I apparently Simon Pegg wrote exactly what I said. Watch it with the subtitles. He says the best Godzilla movie since Shin Godzilla. Shin Godzilla was good, but Shin Godzilla was more ironically more political satire. Because I watched it the first time round and I was like, oh, this is all right. I was like, why have I got all these cabinet meetings and bits? And then when I was told, it was explained to me that no, this is them having a go at the Japanese government for being ineffectual. It then made a whole lot more sense. Like Matrix 4. Matrix 4 isn't Matrix 4. Matrix 4 is fuck you, I don't want to make a sequel to my trilogy. It's already finished. Fine, I'll do it. But I'm gonna stick my fucking fingers up as I'm doing it.
There are political statements in Minus One. I mean, it has been accused of being over political by some Japanese, and it's the bit where, you know, they basically call the government useless and take on Godzilla themselves. That's you know, again, I think this is people, you know, when something's that popular, people have to feel like they have to knock it down, and that's the only thing they can criticize. And as you said, Shin Godzilla is probably more political.
Yeah, but I actually like that knockdown. That's the -1 in the title. They've got no army, they've got no government, they've all the infrastructure's fucked. They've been bombed to hell by the Americans. The Americans aren't coming to help them. They're on their own. They are not even at any other Godzilla's starting point. And that's why it's -1. And I'm going to be honest with you, I can't get over how some stupid people think that it is massively. It's not that political. It's a really good film. It's such a good film. It hits you emotionally. And you come back and you finish watching this and you go, did I just watch a Godzilla film? Which is your first response is, that's a Godzilla film. And you're like, what? But for them, right, so what was the other thing that I also had that had really bad dubbing on? It was Squid Games, and Squid Games came out. And it made, because I watched Squid Games, I think I watched it with the dubbing at first. But the voices got my tits, so I switched the dubbing off and went to subtitles. The problem is when you have a film with subtitles, you have to be quite awake to make sure you're reading it. You can't passively watch it like you can with like other things in your own language. And I think I had issues with the dubbing on there. I have no idea why they decided to ruin the film with the shit dubbing. I'm hoping when it comes out on DVD and it has dubbing on it, that dubbing is not the same as what you get for the Netflix version. Because I'll be a little narked. But then again, I'm not going to watch it in... I don't really want to watch it in dubbing. Am I going to watch it in dubbing out of curiosity now? So, yes. Leave fucking Godzilla alone. He did nothing wrong. Okay, he destroyed a few cities. And a few boats. Stepped on a few hundred people.
Yeah.
But Godzilla didn't do nothing wrong.
Right. What do we got next?
Okay. Let's get to the next one.
You're listening to the Monkey Nut Punch podcast.
Ian McKellen has a practical but macabre response when he was asked if he'd return to Lord of the Rings for the hunt for Gollum. The new Lord of the Rings project was announced. Peter Jackson and Andy Serkis are returning for a new movie titled The Hunt for Gollum. Andy Serkis will star as Gollum in the directed movie, and Ian McKellen's potential return as Gandalf. McKellen was asked about returning as Gandalf, as he stated there's no script, offer, or plan yet. So he humorously responded he would return if he's alive.
Yeah, bless him. I mean, he says it takes him 6 months now to remember a script. I mean, they're falling by the wayside. Well, we've lost Judi Dench. She said she can no longer read scripts. I'm glad that McKellen is still working. Considering where this film is meant to be based, one of the central characters does have to be Gandalf.
Yeah,
because Gandalf leaves the Shire. So we'll come back to this in the film because Biff, I'm glad you're here because we're reviewing Fellowship today. But in between Bilbo's birthday party and Frodo departing the Shire, there is quite a long time gap. It's like 20 odd years in the book. It's huge, right?
It's not
because
20
Gandalf fucks
years.
off. It is.
Not 20. It's not 20.
No.
It's not 20 years.
It's
it's
very long. It's quite a huge time period. It is. It's a huge time period because Frodo is very young. No, Frodo is very young when he's left, but the time period in between is huge. And Gandalf goes off looking, and then comes back. Quite some time later, because Frodo is young at the point that Bilbo leaves, and it is a considerable time gap. And in that time, Gandalf goes off to learn about the ring, and then goes on searches the whole of Middle Earth to find Gollum. It's why it's such a long time period.
17 years.
Yeah, it was something like that. It's quite a huge time period. And we'll come back to it in the film because it's the one gripe I have with the film is it doesn't really reflect the times.
Yeah, but hang on a second. It's like there's a super sense of urgency. We've just found the most dangerous bit of a dangerous magical artifact in all of existence. I'm just going to leave it in the Hobbiton.
Yeah,
for the next
but no one
17
knows
years.
it's there. It's only when he comes back that he realizes that Gollum was caught, and that's where it becomes. But this is what I think this film's going to do. And there's quite a bit in the appendices that sort of covers this period, but it needs Gandalf. And if it's Peter Jackson and thingy, it has to be McKellen as Gandalf, or it's not worth doing. Because McKellen is Gandalf. He is Gandalf.
Yeah.
And there is no other actor that they could put in that place. There isn't. Have I derped?
No, you haven't derped. Oh, yes, you've derped, or I've derped. Have we
No,
both derped?
I've
I don't
derped.
know. You've derped. Your audio's fine now, if it makes you feel any better.
No, it's properly derped, isn't it? Derper.
Derper, Mohammed Jihad.
Yep. Well, okay. This camera's gone screwy again. Brilliant. Okay.
Yeah, you said about not updating the software. You update the software, didn't you? For the OS.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
I have not.
There you go.
But
You're back.
go.
You're back.
But I think I'm going to have to get a cam link because Sony are not updating it either. But anyway, I think he will come back. I think he has to come back. It's what they're going to do about Saruman, because Saruman plays a part as well.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what they're going to do there.
Heavy metal icon. I like refer to him as a heavy metal icon. Christopher Lee. Forgot about that. I forgot the old man fight in Fellowship of the Rings, which I really want to talk about, but I'll save that.
Yep.
Switching two old men just to get the shit out of each other with magic. It's great.
And I've got an idea, by the way, for the next set of films after this as well. Okay. I had an idea today. But right. Yeah, I think he will come back if they do this. My only concern about all of this is I hope it's a passion project. I hope it's something that he wants to do, that he really wants to do, and not some money spinner bullshit. I'm hoping it's not The Hobbit. Look, the Hobbit films are just, there's too many of them to cover such short text, and that's the problem. And when you watch The Fellowship of the Ring again, which I did today, having watched the Hobbit films not that long ago, you're just like, there is a difference of quite a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, I'm sorry, it's a really slow news week this week. It's been bugger all news other than people basically talking about the Acolyte, which we're going to talk about anyway. That has been the entire news this week.
Yeah. Well, okay. Let's move on to the Acolyte. A word's too much for you? Then you should follow us on Instagram. We put pretty pictures out. Thanks. The Acolyte reported to lose everyone after third episode. Get ready for pronouns in Star Wars. The initial reception, the first two episodes of The Acolytes have been described as inoffensive and basic in the story setting and world building. Episode 3 controversy. Episode 3 is predicted to lose viewers due to a major creative decision. The Force is redefined, introducing new concepts like two mothers conceiving twins and Jedis acting as child protective services. Pronouns and the LGBTQ plus themes will prominently feature, which some will believe will spark a significant discussion and departure for fans. The visual production and criticism. This is one thing that gets me. The show is criticised for looking cheap, despite high production costs, with exterior settings appearing obviously shot on soundstage, and there's a notable lack of male energy. I like that.
I don't even know where to start. Right, you've got that. I mean, the first thing I'm going to say is stop interviewing all these actors that you cast in your show. Stop plastering it all over social media. Because the first thing is, I saw that stupid interview with that prat that they've got as the male, one of the male Jedis, where he said that Anakin blew up the Death Star. Twice. Duh. Oh yeah, and there's no good or evil in Star Wars. I can't even see the character now because I see a moron. Right, so I don't see the character. I see this moronic actor who, he's just an idiot. The whole point of all of these kind of things are is that they are shows that we're meant to get immersed in, to be believable, to believe our characters. If you keep ruining that, we keep having to suspend that disbelief, or what am I trying to say? Stop showing real people. Stop showing the real actors, because then we don't see the characters.
There's no mystique behind people.
Yes, and right, and the lead, right, the lead. Okay, this person who turned up in a short black dress that's B-cut right down so it shows her assets, right, is very definitely a female. She is feminine. She dresses like a female. She wears cut shot things. She shows off her cleavage, and for some reason she identifies as non-binary. Fuck off! That is just the most narcissistic bullshit. Oh, there's nothing special about me, so I'll start calling myself them, they. You're a woman, dear. You look like a woman. You dress like a woman. You act like a woman. You're very feminine. You're a woman. Own it. I'm fed up with it. I'm just fed up with people like that. And that's just the beginning of the problems with this. As we predicted, killed off Trinity within 5 thing, and it was really fucking stupid, right? A knife is thrown at the barman, and instead of just doing that with the force to move the thing out the way, right, she force grabs it and holds it, right? So while she's force grabbing and holding it, sister, spoilers, throws a fucking dagger straight in her heart. It's so dumb, and we're meant to care. We're meant to care about this. And it's not like the first time they've done things like this. Cast a well-known person, killed them off in the fight. We didn't have any time to get to know this person other than it's a stupid Jedi. And at some point they're going to turn her into a bad guy. I mean, it got me thinking, do you remember the very first season of Spooks? I think it was the second or third episode. At the time, they cast a really popular actress in it, and they put her in all the fucking trailers, right? And we had like 1 or 2 seconds of her in the first 1 or 2 episodes, right? And then her episode to shine was, I think, the third episode. We got to know the character, right? Famous actress at the time. And they kill her off by putting her head into a fucking chip pan, right? Which was incredibly shocking. We didn't think it was going to happen, which made it that much more shocking because it was played by a well-known thing. And we cared because we got to know the character. No one gives a shit. You killed off Carrie-Anne Moss. Oh, well. And you killed her off in a really stupid way. I mean, you can tell this is written by somebody that's not particularly bright. You can just tell it. And they've made the Jedi into the bad guys.
Again. And we've been told not to watch it. So it's weird because we watched the prequel trilogy recently, yeah? I wouldn't describe the Jedi as bad guys in the prequel, just arseholes. Yeah, they've been around. My thinking goes behind it is they'd been around so long they were massively overconfident in their own abilities, and they didn't check and they didn't follow things through properly, so they died of hubris, which is fine, which is absolutely fine for a group of characters. But they weren't the bad guys. They were never the bad guys. Yeah, they did arseholey things. Yeah, because it's like the Trade Federation. Yeah, they sent the 2 Jedis up there to strong arm them from not doing that blockade, which they were illegally. And they said at the beginning, this is the bit that gets me. Said they were legally allowed to do the blockade. So instead of having the council rescind the legality of that and then sending the Jedi to say, "Look, guys, just knock it off," and they probably would have gone, "Yeah, right then." They didn't.
I mean,
so
yeah. I mean, the dumbness continues because you talk of the Trade Federation. One of the first scenes is Trade Federation, right? And guess what? They look like the Trade Federation from the Phantom Menace. One fucking problem with that. This is set 100 years before. Right? Now, if we look at human society now, and we look at human society 100 years ago, do we look and dress the same? No. Right? And it's not like that in Star Wars we haven't done it, because you look at Knights of the Old Republic, right? And you when you play those games, you know you're in the Star Wars universe, but it looks very, very different. The Jedi dress differently, they behave differently, they speak differently. There are familiar things in there that tell you it's the Star Wars universe, but it's very, very different. This looks exactly the same. In fact, it's all dirty and grimy. It's almost like we are slap bang in the Empire period, but we know that when this is the High Republic, this is meant to be when everything is gleaming and beautiful, and this is meant to. If you'd kind of done Art Deco, but they're all dressed the same. They all dress the same, and it's like this is 100 years before. It's dumb. That's the forget the fucking diversity bullshit. It's just dumb. It's really dumb.
The level of dumbness is like that. So you heard about the fire and space thing?
Yes.
That's the one thing I keep getting across.
That would have bugged the shit out of you. That would have bugged the shit out of you.
Apparently, it was like going, it was blowing around in the wind, and it was just like, who the fuck? Have you never watched The Expanse? They show you how shit like that's done. Yeah. It's
they put this girl that's meant to have killed a Jedi Master, right? A girl that is meant to have killed the Jedi Master, right? Oh, let's put her on a shit that's just run by droids. And there's no sort of subcontext to explain that, like the Jedi are overconfident, because had they done that, that could have explained a few things, but no, there's just dumbness. I know I've heard rumors what's coming in the third episode, because we've got that obnoxious, self-important, weird black woman that was like, yes, and the really annoying sound clip, and like every interview she's in, she's dressed up like, I mean, who was the actress that played the Bond baddie in A View to Kill? The original, tall black woman. She was the baddie in the thing.
Grace Jones.
Grace Jones. She's like a poor person's Grace Jones. She's trying to be Grace Jones with no fucking class. Right? There's no class there. Right? Grace Jones oozed class. This woman has none of it.
I found Grace Jones scary. She's like one of the person. She's like a person that how can I put it? If you slept with, I'd worry that she'd rip my dick off.
Yes, but I mean, she's trying to be worth that, and just nowhere near. And her accent. I mean, make up your fucking mind what accent you've got there, love. And I've just seen clips of her, and I know she's playing the mother. She's going to be one of the lesbian mothers, isn't she? Because she's set to turn up in the third one. I've heard other things about the Force. I'm not going to comment about it until I see it, and there's a reason why. I'm not going to comment about it until I see it.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be bad. It's probably what everybody's saying, but I'm reserving judgment until I watch it. This is so annoying. It's so.
Yes. In a very woman-centered world, which I was very excited.
Yes.
I feel like Star Wars is.
They have no. There's the respect source material just goes out the window.
She's trying to be Grace Jones as well, and it just doesn't work. Grace Jones was unique.
She was,
and it's not a cultural thing. It is I don't know what it is thing. Maybe it's a lesbian thing. I don't know, because Grace. She's Lindsay. What's her name? Leslie Helen's cast a wife in it who played this really naff Jedi. It's no other way to say it. She was naff. At the time, didn't even know it was Leslie Jones' wife until I saw this shit afterwards. 22 million an episode. What the fuck?
That's the bit that gets me. That is the bit that gets me. I'm looking at this, and I said to you beforehand, I said, this is a payday for Leslie Headland. Yeah. This is a payday. This isn't about making a Star Wars thing. Star Wars just happens to be it. She's getting paid. She is
Yeah.
she's probably made about $50 million off the back end of this. Doesn't
Well,
matter if it's
somebody's
successful or not.
pocketed a lot of it because it hasn't been spent on the show.
Yeah.
I mean, the costumes are awful. There's very few sort of special effects shots, so you get a bit of Coruscant, and then we're off Coruscant. Where's Yoda, by the way? I mean, immediately the Jedi are being really political and bad guys, and that's what's going to happen. I mean, I know we're going to get some flashbacks of Carrie Ann Moss, and she's going to turn out to be a bad guy. It's just fucking obvious.
I got a feeling that you're going to get flashbacks of Carrie Ann Moss and she's turned out to be a dude.
I mean, I've heard him called Master Squid Games, but again,
that poor actor can't even speak English. You know that, don't you?
yes.
So he's just having to repeat the lines that he hears. So he doesn't even know what he's saying. So he's got someone there saying, you need to say it like this, and he is. It's a payday for him. I don't blame him. And it may get him more roles, but
yeah, look, I get it. I mean, look, he has done nothing. I haven't seen him in many of the interviews. It is, but that's because it's all the women and the gay guy that thinks Anakin blew up the Death Star, and that there's no good and evil in Star Wars.
God, that's.
Well done, Kathleen. Well done. Don't worry, we won't be watching it after the episode 3. The only reason that everybody's going to tune, and that's what will happen. Everybody's going to tune into episode 3. Then it's going to do this. I mean, IGN ran a story today going, "Oh, they're already working on season 2," and I just went, if I was a betting man, I would give odds 1-to-1 that you don't see a second season of this, because you won't. You won't. And then you got Leslie Hallen out there going, "Oh, I want to do a KOTOR season." Yeah, I'd love to see a KOTOR season, but not with Disney in charge of Star Wars. So definitely not written by you.
Yeah. All right. Hang on a second. Just to calm you down. Should we look at the Doctor Who figures?
I watched Dot and Bubble or whatever it's called, and honestly, I am proud of myself because I didn't realize it was a racism thing. When she said, "I don't want to go with you," I thought it's because she thought the Doctor was poor or common, right? Because they make all this thing about it only being rich people. I didn't notice it was only white people. That doesn't make me ignorant, by the way. It just means I'm not looking at race.
Also, he's an alien.
It was only when I watched Desperoux's review that I went, oh. I thought she was a bad person from the offset because she was obnoxious social media fucking, bitch right from the beginning and spoke like it right up. I mean, I didn't like the episode from the, and we're meant to relate to her at one point. Are you kidding me? Narcissistic, obnoxious bitch right from the offset, surrounded by narcissistic, obsessive people. I didn't even get the racist thing until the end, and even then, I thought, my God, just my God. So we're going to have a future generation who are all going to be, white supremacists living on some planet that gets eaten by giant snails. Okay. Well, if we do have those people, it's going to be people like Russell T Davies that push them there, not us. Anyway, let's look at the ratings, because I bet they're not good.
All right, let's go to the ratings. Okay, so first episode, Space Babies, highest 4.1 million across 7 days, 2.6 million, and then they lost 0.2 million people, and it was running from bit to bit, and then pretty much reflected by 0.09 million people in the overnights. Episode 3, 2.4 to 3.8 million, 2.6 million. FA Cup, nothing to do with Doctor Who, that's because it followed on for the FA Cup. I watched a guy who turned around and checked, and they found there was an episode of Doctor Who, I think it was Gridlock, and that got an extra 1 million people because that was on after an FA Cup too. It might not be Gridlock, and then back down And then, so Dot and Bubble, the one you watched, 2.12 million, and then 2.11 million for, what was this? The gay doctor goes gay.
Gay Doctor. And again, right, every time the Doctor has had a romance, right, doesn't matter. I don't care that he kissed the guy. I resigned to that fact. But every time the Doctor's had a relationship with anybody, that person's been special, and it's been built up over time. It's been earned. Rose earned it, right? And the Doctor didn't have a relationship with her. It was his clone that did, which a lot of people go, well, yeah, but the Doctor got with Rose. No, he didn't. That was the tragedy of it. No, he didn't. Right? And again, with River Song earned that, right? And these people have to earn this to be up against this. You've got.
Right,
oh yes.
Can I just point out something? This isn't the first time a man has kissed the Doctor.
No, Captain Jack
did. Captain Jack did in the what's it? The child one.
I'm pretty damn sure that he wanted Captain Jack in this episode. I'm pretty damn sure that the only reason this person was cast because of all that stuff came out about him,
Barrowman.
John Barrowman, and that's why he wasn't
sticking his willy on people's shoulders while having their makeup done.
And
Could you imagine being a nude in that? He's just like, ah!
Russell T Davies has just lost the plot. I mean, the gay kiss doesn't bother me that much. I mean, it's more the fact that it just wasn't earned. It wasn't earned. This is the Doctor. And this is why, look, I used to like Ncuti Gatwa before he was cast in this role. He is not the Doctor. He can't play the Doctor. He's crying in every episode. He doesn't have the depth.
Yeah.
There's no speeches. We've had not a single speech.
Well, sorry, no. You've had speeches, but not a single speech that's hit.
There's been no speeches.
He did one at the end of. He did one at the end of Dot and Bubble briefly, but it didn't hit because it was shit. He's had them, but they've not hit. We'll go back and watch Dot and Bubble and goes that bit when he's saying about rescuing them. That's kind of one of the Doctor's speeches, but because he couldn't fucking deliver it.
Did you get the racism? Because I just didn't. I didn't.
I haven't watched it. I watched the speech bit, and I watched a bit where she gets the guy killed who was trying to save her life. Bitch. And I just, there are many things that we could talk about, many science fiction things we could talk about. Actually, you're gonna kill me for this. I think Chibnall handled it better.
No,
so I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example one, the microplastics one. Yeah, that's something that no one knows about, which is quite important. Okay, didn't do a very good job at it, but he did, hit that as a topic. You've got like so many things like the AI and all that stuff. Where's the AI episode talking about AI? Yeah, and it's like, okay, they got the social media one, but his social media one is from like 10 years ago when people were still using Facebook. Yeah, it's out of date. He's out of date. He really is out of date, and it just, I don't know, because I've been watching it, and he does shoot out of fucking cries every 5 fucking minutes. It's actually irritating me because you had the kiss. Yeah, and I saw a clip of the kiss, and I saw it and kissed him, and I was like, please don't fuck. And my response was, not the kiss, it was, fuck's sake, don't cry. Don't cry. Oh, he's fucking crying. That was my response. It was, why the fuck are you crying over that? Just, jeez.
I mean, there's always, since Russell T Davies brought the show back, there's always been gay undertones. I don't care. When the writing was good, I don't care, right? I don't have a problem with that, really. I have a problem with the gay kiss in this because it wasn't earned. Right, I mean, I had a problem with the Doctor being a lesbian in the last one because what's her face is, was the companion was so mundane and boring, right?
Yeah.
That again, it wasn't earned.
Yeah. Right? So the thing about her being a lesbian in the other one kind of makes more sense because it's like a holdover for her because she's been male for God knows how many versions.
Yes, it did. But again, I didn't have a problem with that. I had a problem with the fact that the companion was so fucking mundane. right?
Yes,
And boring, and never did anything really. And again, and in this, and the other thing that really annoyed me about this is, right, every 5 seconds. I mean, if I was Bridgerton, I'd sue them for the amount of times they went, "Oh my Bridgerton, oh this is so Bridgerton, oh Bridgerton." Every 5 seconds, like, oh, we're getting down with the kids, so we're going to mention Bridgerton about 20 fucking times. But here's the thing, right? Bridgerton is famously colorblind in its casting, right? Although they did the Queen Charlotte thing, which my wife watched, actually does have something about racism. But look, I'm absolutely fine because with the way Bridgerton says, look, this is fictitious and we do colorblind casting. Fine, right? No problem with that, right? But this is Doctor Who. This is history. And yet it decided to copy the world of Bridgerton and put it on screen. So you've got lots of mixed race people, black people, and things. And I'm sorry, this is history. This is, again, brown washing Isaac Newton. I mean, it's
that's one of the most famous physicists.
And they've done it again.
Actually,
and they've done it
Godfather
again.
of physicists.
And they've done it again in this. And it's just dumb and stupid. Look, if you want diverse casting, don't put it in the past. Fucking solved. And it just, what has happened to good writing? What has happened? I mean, have these people just all had lobotomies or something? Have they all had their brains just sucked out that they can't write anymore? It's just, I never actually thought it could get worse than Chibnall, but it bloody well has.
Yeah.
Because now it's stupid. Now it's almost insulting. Now it's actually egregious. Because again, the way that you accept and do diversity is that you don't make out things are different. You don't, so there's a gay kiss. So what? That's how you normalize things. What you
Keith,
don't do,
Keith, if you've not worked it out yet, have you not figured it out? They don't want it normalized. They said they wanted to be accepted, and now they want to be celebrated. It's that simple. Yeah, they want to be celebrated for being who they are. We don't get to be celebrated for who we are. So just shut the fuck up. You're not special. You're just like everyone else. Get on with it. There are things to be doing. Exceptional people get noted. So do your damnedest to be exceptional.
Most gay people I know don't want to be, celebrated. They don't care. They just want to get on with their lives. It's these people in Hollywood. It's the people in the media. It's these people. It's that silly cow in the Acolyte that dresses like a woman, acts like a woman, is incredibly feminine, but goes, no, I'm non-binary. There's no such thing, by the way. It's a mental condition, right? I'm not getting into the transgender debate because that is a different thing. But this whole thing of where I'm just going to be called they, them from now on. No, you're a girl. You're a girl, right? You dress like a girl. You act like a girl. You're a fucking girl. Huh? And I'm, and that's, oh. And actually, if she really has got that, then it's a mental condition and we should be doing something about it. Mental health. Right?
Yeah, I know.
We should. But we're being stopped from it because of these fucking idiots. Right? There should be a debate about this. But no. We're going to call them they, and now we're going to have fucking stupid pronouns in Star Wars. God, it's just bloody annoying. And Doctor Who, I just find Russell T Davies thinking he's like some kind of white knight saving the world. And all he's doing is writing more and more stupid stories. I highly recommend Disbrew's review of Dot and Bubble because he fucking hits the nail on the head. And it is actually egregious, this one. It should make people angry. Just like I'm angry about the whole Davros thing because that really fucking makes me angry. And it's funny, I got speaking to a few people, disabled people these days, and they are equally as angry about this. They agree with me. There's this able-bodied guy. Who the fuck are you to say this? Piss off.
They don't have any empathy. They don't have any real, actual, proper empathy. If that makes any sense.
No, he's shown his real colours in the way he dealt with Christopher Eccleston. He did that.
And you know what? Ever since I heard what Christopher Eccleston said, and then I checked some of the lines and bits, and yeah. But here's one thing I want to throw out there, and I need to gather some evidence. I think Stephen Moffat doesn't like this stuff, and I think he does what I lovingly refer to as malicious compliance. So I'll give you an example. I think
you're slightly deluded by that. I think he buys into all this bullshit. But we'll see.
Well, no, because there's been interviews with him, and he turns around and goes, "Doctor Who's for everyone." Goes, "It's for Conservative voters, this, that, and the other. It's for everyone," and he said that very clearly. And I've heard him complain about the Doctor being a woman. And I've heard him saying you're not allowed to say anything about the Doctor being a woman to him. That's the one question you're not allowed to ask, because he will go off on you. Yeah, and he has written some episodes that when you look at them, you go, ah. So I'll give you one example. Yeah, the pyramids at the end of the world. Yeah, have you seen that one? Capaldi episode with the monks, the kind of decaying monks, yeah?
Yeah.
So it's religious types turn up, they invade our shores, and then they insist that we love them, even though they're not in it for our best intentions. Sounds like an allegory for immigration. And Booty let that one go through.
He's got a cancellation comedy coming up. I'll be interested to see it. But I'm going to tell you, I didn't like Dracula. I really didn't. I know
you didn't like that.
Sherlock season 4 was pretty terrible. And look, he might have.
Oh, hang on a second. The one where he goes up against Toby Jones. That was great.
Yeah, season 3.
No, that's season 4.
Was it the middle episode?
It was because it was Augustus Milverton or Magnuson.
No.
Sorry, Magnuson was 3. Yeah. Magnuson was 3, and then Toby Jones was 4 because he got one of the characters, which is Augustus Milverton, and split him into 2.
Yes,
the hospital one, the H.H. one.
Yeah. All right, I'll give you that. But the other 2 weren't particularly great. I am interested to see his cancellation comedy. I will admit that. Because he's writing comedy again, and he hasn't done that for a while.
But as I said, I think malicious compliance, because one of the things is the Bill says she was a lesbian every episode. Yeah, could you imagine? No, Stephen, you've got to make sure the audience know that she's a lesbian every episode. Do you think his response would be, "I'll just have a fucking say it every episode, just to make sure these things are." Yeah, and hold on a second, and then you get to that last episode with Capaldi and Pearl Mackie, and Bill turns around to the Doctor and says, "You know I'm a lesbian." He goes, "Yeah, I don't care." Because I think that was Moffat saying, "No, I don't care. I really don't give a shit. I just had to do this because I was told to do this."
As much as the Peter Capaldi was up and down. There are some fantastic episodes from that era, and the final episode, even though I like the final episode because I like the speech before he regenerates. I love that speech.
Yeah. What do you call it? Go back and look at the Capaldi episodes, and then go back and look at the other episodes. The other series of Matt Smith and David Tennant. Capaldi's one's not as bad as you think it was. Really isn't.
No. There are some good ones.
Even the bad ones aren't as bad as you think. Flatliners, Mummy on the Orient Express, I fucking love those 2. Flatliners is quite terrifying because you've got these things that you have no idea what they are, but they're 2-dimensional. And it's like, I've never been scared of a drawing at all. Anyway, can we talk about something I like?
Yes.
Well, and it's been mutilated, but it hasn't been mutilated the same way everything else has.
A lot of people are slating this. Okay. I wanted to hear your reaction.
All right, so So just like there's an atmosphere processor for the people listening, and you got the main character.
Is this really where you want to spend the rest of your life?
You know I don't.
Then this is our only ticket out of here.
So they've got a massive fucking... That's a huge acid burn. They've killed one. So, sorry, I'm stopping it for not to copyright strike thing and to make sure that we are being transformative, yeah? If you go back there, we just see the android, yeah? The android looks like he's holding vials of the black goo from Prometheus. Because right, so there was a script for Alien 3 that was never made, and it was the script that they were going to make if Sigourney Weaver wasn't going to do Alien 3, and it featured Hicks and Bishop as the main characters in it, yeah. And they found out that in the facehuggers, it doesn't put an embryo in you; it puts the black goo stuff in you. And this was back in the early 90s, yeah. And this black goo would respond, and then it could turn you directly into a xenomorph sort of thing.
Black goo that kind of fucking turns you into an alien.
Yeah. Before the X-Files 2.
I was about to start whistling the X-Files theme tune.
But not before the Quatermass one in the 50s, which is where the black goo comes from.
I know.
But they never turned you into aliens. That was just aliens hijacking you so they could survive the atmosphere. I like this bit. Right, hang on a sec. So she's got a light and she can see the thing inside her, which is really cool. Which is like, it's like, that's a stretch storyline wise to have something like that in there, but visually it's quite entertaining.
What's happening?
See, I find the facehuggers more scary than the actual aliens. And I don't know if in the other trailer that we saw where they're fucking running and they are seriously fast and then they just jump on your face. That freaks me out more than the fucking alien does. Facehuggers have always freaked me out more. And that scene in the other trailer was like, shit.
You know, facehuggers, I can't say it. I'll tell you after, because there's an allegory for something else.
There's something in the water.
What do you mean there's something in the water?
I don't know, there's just something in the fucking water.
Oh, fuck.
Fucking thing's hunting us.
Open the door, come on.
Run.
You see that? You see, like, it's been defrosted. I think that's the original alien from Alien. I really do. And there's something else. Hang on a second. I don't know if it's in this trailer. There it is. See that that there? They're bringing it. It looks like an asteroid, but if you look at it, there you go. That's a better shot. If you look, it looks more like the alien hive stuff.
Yes.
So I think the big chap fell out into space and cocooned itself, and then got picked up. So yeah, it's the other part of this too is there's a story which was my favourite non-canonical story from Aliens. It's called Out of the Shadows, and it's about a mining vessel that's in orbit of this planet called I can't remember what it's called, but the thing's called the Marion, and what it is, it's this big mining ship, huge, and on it they land on this planet. They're digging deep down and they find a civilization that's been wiped out by the aliens, and wake up some eggs and then bring them back to the ship, and it's great. And the problem with the ship is when it's right at the beginning of the story, when the dropships are returning, one of them smashes into the Marion, screws the whole thing up, and it's in like a slow decaying orbit, so it's like being destroyed slowly as it enters the atmosphere. I'm thinking I've got bits of that too.
Are you sure you want to do this?
So
I gotta say, right, I watched this trailer and went, I know Gareth likes this. I've seen lots of people sort of slagging this off, saying, oh, it's more of the same. Actually, I think this is the most alien-looking alien film since Alien. and it gives me vibes from the game. It gives me vibes from the original movie. It doesn't feel like Alien 2. It feels like Alien. Right, and I know that's one of your, if not your favorite movie of all time. It's certainly a fucking brilliant movie. It's very different to Aliens. This feels like Alien. Now, to me, this scared the shit out of me. It's the face hugger bits when they're running around and leaping on everybody. Just it's a spider thing. I don't know what it is, but they scared the shit out of me.
It's a
think this
spider with a penis,
good.
Keith. That's terrifying. It's a spider with a penis.
I know.
That's terrifying.
It looks like Alien to me, and it looks like that kind of psychological thriller far more than the other Alien movies ever were. The other Alien movies were very different to the original. And this looks more like the original, and I think that's... You like this trailer, don't you?
I like this trailer, but then again, I like trailers and don't like the films. I'll give an example: Prometheus trailer.
Yeah,
I love that Prometheus trailer. It was a fantastic trailer. Watched the film, had a different expectation because of the way the trailer set it up, and it turned out to be, if you don't look at it as an Alien film or in the Alien universe, it's fine. But the moment you start looking at it like that, you kind of start picking it apart. It doesn't make as much sense. You leave it alone as it's a standalone thing. It's okay. Apart from ladies, left or right, pick one before the thing rolls over and squishes you. But yeah, it was I like that, and I liked Alien Covenant, and I think I'm the only person in the world that liked Alien Covenant. But I saw it more as a Dr. Frankenstein sort of thing, where this is Dr. Frankenstein, these are my creations. But that's because that it's fine. I can understand why people don't like it and people don't think it's very good, but it introduced a few other things to it. The thing when it comes to creature features, the more you know about the creature, be it the alien or the predator or Freddy Krueger or Jason or anything, the more you know about it, the less scary it is. The more unknown it is, the more scarier it is. If you try to explain it, the fear of that unknown gets washed away, and it's not as interesting. And that's the problem with the Alien films. We kind of had all these things about you should never tell us about their origin. It should be in that kind of eldritch kind of horror camp where we don't know. It's the big unknown. But it's there are you can have a go at it, and people can have theories and that's fine. But please don't explain it, because that's not cool. And I think if we get the big chap back from Alien, you can't get Sigourney Weaver back. Let's get the alien back. But that's what the film was called. Yeah, it survived at the end of the film. It got blown away from the ship. It didn't get fried or incinerated or anything like that. It just got pushed away.
Right. And it is set a couple of years after the original film.
Yeah.
So it is set. You might be right in your terms, your thing. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's do the next one. This is Venom: The Last
This is a 3-minute. Are we going to go right through it?
Let's try and go right through it. But I have to pause it every so often. So especially as they start playing music.
Eddie, my home has found us.
Right, can I ask you something? Do you find these pre-trailer bits bullshit?
Yes.
I hate them. Just take me straight into it.
You should probably know that I have a really dark and unpredictable side to me.
Stop speaking.
I'm giving you a chance, sweetie.
Say when.
When?
So just it looks like they're doing like a dog fighting ring thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I love the fact that they let the dogs out. Save the dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife likes that.
What are you? We are.
We're Venom!
We are.
Venom!
No. Yeah, we are. Venom. We're gonna need to work on that.
Let us! You take me to all the finest places.
Oh, I love it. That made me giggle. That really did make me giggle.
Yeah, it's he seems to have, it sounds awful, sorry Mexicans. Seems to have gone to Mexico or South America where there's a lot more violent crime, because biting the heads off of violent criminals is a bit more acceptable than, say, a store robbery sort of person.
Yeah. I love it when he sees
We always knew it was impossible.
Yeah, we're gonna have to
It's Juno Temple from Ted Lasso.
I know. She is American.
That we were alone in
Is
the
she?
universe.
Oh, I didn't know
I
that.
think so. I don't think she's British.
It's also Danny Rojas from Ted Lasso.
Danny Rojas, football is life.
And you've got what's his name? She was in Kinky Boots and
Yes.
thingy. Oh, he's a great actor.
Yes.
I love him, but I can't remember his bloody name. I feel really bad.
And it's our job to make sure that remains a secret.
Let's go get him.
Oh, shit!
Fucking music, sorry.
We are fugitives.
So yeah, there's
On the run. In the shit.
Beyond the tree, my friend.
You mean it? No!
it's like they're like the weird odd couple.
Any promises?
They're like that.
I love the dance scene. I think I'm going to love the dance scene. Venom dancing with Mrs. Chen. I'm looking forward to that.
My home has found us.
I love that. That's my response. Jesus.
There's an army coming that cannot be beaten.
As long as Venom lives, everyone, everything will end.
That was the mum from Ted.
We may not make it out of this alive, buddy.
Eddie, the time has come.
This actually looks better than Venom 2.
Yeah.
Honest with me. How fast do you think you can get that thing to go without killing it?
Only one way to find out.
Yeah, that looks quite good.
I'm a bit of a sorry. I'm a bit of a. I like the Venom bits. The Carnage one could have been done better. I probably would have done it, but I probably would have done. I probably would have done it better. The problem is, I'd be pulling you in, going, Keith, we just need to, does this make any sense? But I'll give it a watch. I've got a cinema pass. I'll just go and give it a watch. Should be good. Even though I didn't get around to watching bloody Planet of the Apes because I was just too bloody busy, which is really annoying.
Yeah, no, I didn't
All
get
right.
to see it. And Bad Boys is out as well, and I like the Bad Boys movies, even though it's probably a cash grab, but I still love them. So, and I haven't had a chance to go and see that either.
Okay, shall we go to the comments?
We should do the comments because we should have done those before that. Then we'll get on to the fellowship.
Okay, so let's go to the comments. Crikey, there's a few comments. Steve in first.
Yeah.
Hello, Steve. Followed by Biffa. Hello, Biffa.
Hey, buddy.
If that was the case, and it turns out she was actually a Sith Lord, and that would be really exciting. But no, we're not that lucky.
Well, yeah. I mean, I know what's meant to be coming in the third episode, but I'm purposefully not going to say anything this week about it because it depends what way they go. And there is it could be they could go the way that makes sense, and it's just everybody getting over the top. But I don't think that is. But I'm going to wait until next week, then comment. Suddenly, the Doctor Who Christmas special doesn't feel. I tell you what, the effects in Doctor Who are better than the Acolyte. I will give it that. The opening sequence of Doctor Who looks really fucking good. I was watching it in 4K yesterday. I went, you know what? The music, the opening credits, they're the best thing about this era of the show.
I didn't
the soundtrack.
know. I didn't know the Doctor was going to tell this episode. To be honest with you, I thought it was just pretty straight. But hey, hello. Stop talking to Emma. I take it. And then Laurie saying hello to everyone. Hello. Chuck is trying to fix our washing machine at the moment. It's leaking. Oh dear.
If he turns up in a pair of dungarees with tools and goes, "Hi Laurie, I've come to fix your washing machine," run.
So yeah. So anyway, the trials of a dishwasher. We'll do that. I'm only listening because I realised you were showing when I heard the beeping noise.
Just talking about the alien.
Oh yeah. Okay.
The alien play.
Thank you. What says hello all? Okay. Yeah, there's a new Alien film.
Yep.
Alien scares Chuck. Don't be scared of Alien. Alien's cool. Alien's pretty. It's pretty. What do you call it? Yeah.
The first one's pretty freaky. Young Sigourney Weaver in typewriter shirt as a teen. Yum. Then the sci-fi terror. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yes. I only see 2 thumbs up, people. Okay, that's good. Thank you, Chuck. After the show, I'm swinging the bat, hoping for no strike 3. Oh, that washing machine I must be talking about. Yikes. Well edited. Oh, it must be the Alien trailer or the Venom trailer. One of the 2. We're all Venom. Venom. David Bowie. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Copyright tends to screw that. Oh, here you go. Juno Temple was born in Hammersmith and she's British.
Oh, she is British. All right, fair enough. I didn't know
she was.
I know that the accent that she puts on isn't okay. Fair enough.
Okay. So yeah,
born in Hammersmith. Same as me.
Yeah. You weren't born in Hammersmith. You were extracted from a test tube after being mixed with Doritos and sherbet dib dabs, and then it created a human.
Orange sherbet.
Yes. Well, no, sherbet dib dabs. Yeah. Yeah, Laurie hates spiders, even though she's Spider-Woman, ironically.
Yeah, I hate spiders too, Laurie. I'm with you. The face huggers freak me out more than the aliens do, and it is partly because of the spider thing. And I love Spider-Man.
No fear of heights, apparently. Just say no to crack. Say no to crack fixing washing machine. I hope your washing machine goes well, because they're a pain in the ass to fix, and they're a pain in the ass to get someone to come out and to have fix. But hey, I think we've gone through about 3 washing machines. Yeah, 2, 1, 2. Anyway, we're not here to talk about washing machines. We're here to talk about. Do you want to do Dark Matter or Lord of the Rings?
Oh well, I did watch Dark Matter this week. It was okay.
Yeah. My worry was that he was going to get the kid killed. Yeah, the kid was going to die, and then he was going to go into the box to find another one to replace him.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking, because he's now concreted up the box. But I don't know if that's going to work though, and the reason I don't know if that's going to work is because there was a bit where I think they dropped into an ocean, and the box just appeared into the ocean and started sinking. So I think the box sometimes appears when it's not even there, if that makes any sense. So if that box is there, that's fine, but the box is like a constant sort of thing. So you got that there, but yeah, almost killing his kid with a peanut allergy was a silly thing. And the Prime version of the guy, I can't remember his name now. I could remember his name a moment ago, but I've forgotten it. The Prime version of him, where he went out for a night with the therapist, went out with the therapist, and it looked like they were going to sleep together, but he didn't. And the worst thing is, as I said before, I think she's going to be the reason that he's going to have trouble getting back. But his wife suspects something. His son suspects something.
Yes.
His matey, who he dropped off in a parallel universe, suspects something. I'm waiting for the other version of Vance, the guy who's running the project in the Doppelgangers universe, to turn up, because I don't know if he's going to turn up and find him. Yeah, he seems quite calm and rational and in control of himself, which means he might be able to navigate a damn sight better than most people when it comes to the box. And I think that there's going to be some kind of twist or something with the version of Vance that disappeared, because he's gone all quiet all of a sudden. So yeah,
there's some interesting things in it. It still has dumb moments. It still has. I feel like they've got a team of writers, and one of them's really dumb. Because there's that moments where, like, when she sees her doppelganger, or when she sees like that world's version of her, she's literally standing next to her, and no one notices. Like that couple that's walking down the street. I mean, they're literally staring at her and the other one, because they are before where she's walking. They don't notice. There's still some really this would be amazing. Yeah, unfortunately, there's moments where there's just stupidness. And it's funny because I started because this reminded me so much of Counterpart. I started watching Counterpart again this week, and it's like, yes, okay, Counterpart's very different to this, but it's vibing Counterpart in terms of its tone, and Counterpart was more clever than this, but I like the lead actor. I find it incredibly interesting. What the two different versions of him, and I love they explored an idea here where you're in a different world, so you can do what you like. You can be free. You don't have those hang-ups because you can just leave this world. What effect would that have on the psyche? And it starts to explore that. So the questions it poses are interesting. So I think, as I said, I think you've got like a really, really clever, intelligent writer and then a complete retard on the team. And it's like, and I think the retard wrote a lot of the first two episodes because I got annoyed with those. But it has got better. But it does have moments where you're just like, oh, for fuck's sake, that's just stupid. That takes you out of it. And where she's just like standing open in the street, literally 2 meters away from her thing, and no one fucking notices, was a bit dumb. But you're right. I like the way, I mean, okay, yeah, he's buried the box, but I don't think that's going to stop them somehow. So I don't think it is next. It is what happens next. It's whether she has the box uncovered or what. But, they both sort of suspect each other now. That's where it ended. So,
yeah. It's, he... It's good because I've done it because he's not a good person. It's such a imposter thing where you evil mustache version of the person from the dark mirror universe. It's interesting. I'm hoping it goes somewhere. I really do hope it goes somewhere, and I hope that because if they're going to do another, it either just does the one series because it's based on a book and has done with it, and I'd be quite happy with that. Or if it goes to do another series that it's got something meaty to work with. And there are possibilities out there, and it's endless possibilities because it's a bloody multiverse thing, and it's done the right way with limitations, if that makes any sense. Yeah, so you can't just pop in there every time you bloody want and do it. It's not like freaking Rick and Morty. Yeah, it just, you've got to have to take these ampules and you've got to use this box that puts you in the super state, which is good. I don't know how many episodes we've got left. I don't know if it's 12 or 10 or
it's 8, I think.
It's 8. Okay. So I think it's.
So we've got a few left. It could be 10.
After.
It could be 10, but usually it's 8 with Apple TV for this kind of thing. But it could be 10. They could be going for 10. I don't know.
I'll have a quick nose on the IMDb, and then we'll start talking about Lord of the Rings. Yeah. So there is 9.
Okay.
So it's not 10 or 8. It's 9. Just to fuck with the two of us. They've made it 9. But hey. So Lord of the Rings. So
can you get over
extended
the first
version.
thing is 2001.
Don't say that. Don't say that. That makes me feel so fucking old. I remember going
It
to
doesn't make
cinema
me.
watching it.
I'm watching this going. This is a 23-year-old movie. Jesus Christ! And here's the thing. I loved it. I love these films. I genuinely love these films.
My least favorite is The Fellowship of the Ring.
Yes, and it should be.
It's my least favorite because it just there's so much better. Sorry, my focus on the camera. There's so much better stuff in the others. My favorite is The Two Towers, which is the next one, which I'm actually looking forward to. I say actually, I was looking forward to this too, but I had a thing when I woke up this morning and I milled around, and then I was like, I think I messaged you, and it was like, one, I couldn't find it on any streaming services or on DVD or anything, so it's like, got to buy it somewhere. So the cheapest place was on Apple TV. I did that.
I'll try and give you. I've set up a Plex server on my NAS. I think I could give you access to stream it.
Okay.
Because I've loaded the other two on there. So yeah, but the extended editions, they add a lot for the fans. They are there for the people that love the books.
Yes.
And I hadn't realized, because I thought, right, I'll read what the differences are, and all of the scenes that I love in the Fellowship are from the extended editions. The bit where they meet the dwarfs in the forest, where Galadriel's husband speaks, and yes, Galadriel husband. Yeah. She's not. Galadriel had a husband, by the way. Yeah, just saying. Rings of
She
shit.
wasn't single.
The opening is very different. I mean, the extended editions just make more sense to me. There's the little add-ons to scenes. My favorite part of the movie is in Rivendell. This movie, there's a lot to like about this movie. I mean, Boromir's death scene, greatest Sean Bean death scene ever. There's a lot to like about the film, but I know why it's your least favorite. It's my least favorite. But I still love the film because it crafts the world so well. And there is the scene.
All right, hang on a second.
Go on.
So I just want to add in, because you're talking about the extended scenes, and there was one scene in there where Saruman calls Gandalf a stoner, very subtly.
Yeah.
He goes, "You're fond of the half-foots," and that's what it is in the theatrical cuts. And in this version, you're very fond of the half-foots weed.
Mm-hmm.
Saying, Gandalf, you're a fucking stoner. How do you know you're not imagining it in one line without saying anything more than
And that's
that?
pretty much word for word from the book. The people criticize that there was no Tom Bombadil. Watch it again. You can't have had Tom Bombadil in this because they bring in the riders, and to create that atmosphere, they bring in the thing. My criticism is it doesn't show the passing of time, and it and it should do to a point. Even if it's not 17 years, it should have shown some passing of time. The scene that you see when they're in the pub, that's an extended edition. Again, that's from the the thing, and I liked all the little moments. I like the fact that the extended editions create the world, which actually sets up the next two films so much better. But one of my favorite scenes in this film, the one that sort of still gives me sort of like chilled, is the scene where the 9 riders come in chasing Arwen. And this was before drones. So they were using a helicopter. They were kind of there are so many shots in this that are kind of like pre-drone, but drone shots. So Chuck, you should go and watch this. I mean, the scene, and I know how they did this, right? But again, this is beyond talented filmmaking. You know where it's near the end of the movie, and it's the scene where all the sort of they're chasing after the 2 hobbits, and that camera is on a rope, I think, and it just goes down through the forest, down the side, and it's always pointing down, just chasing them as they're running through the trees. It's an epic scene. I mean, this is cinema.
Yeah.
And this is what cinema should be about. And yes, it is a fucking long film.
It is. I was supposed to go to the gym today, but I didn't have time. I'm really. It was like I had to stop it at the midway point to go to the toilet.
Oh,
oh my god! So it was. Yeah. Do you know what the funny thing is? I thought to myself, you know what would make this work? This was a really kind of good premium TV series divided up into episodes, and then fuck no, we tried that with the Rings of Power. No, because there's so much of it that you could do, and it would work as a really good expensive TV series. So,
yes, it could do. You could do that but it would be 1 or 2 seasons or 3 seasons at most. I don't think. See, the problem with the books is I've heard people say they don't like the books because it feels, and you have to. The style of the books is very old-fashioned, and all the songs and things, and it feels dated in some respects. The film cut that out and gave us the core of the story, and the casting was so brilliant. I mean, I'd forgotten, and I'd recently seen an interview. Do you remember the guy that played Lex Luthor in Smallville?
Yes.
He does interviewing now. He's got like a podcast thing, right? And he interviewed John Rhys Davis, right? Really fucking good interview. Highly suggest everybody go and watch it because it's really interesting. And I love John Rhys Davis because I first knew about him from Sliders, right? Perfectly cast as Gimli. The sign when he's in Zackadoo, and no one tosses a dwarf. That's it. And then they grab his beard to pull him up. To me, I read these books now, and Rhys Davis is Gimli for me, and always will be. Yeah. As is the guy. What's his face? Viggo Mortensen's Aragorn. Aragorn is Aragorn to me.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Can I just point something out? Is it really obvious the additional bits that they filmed in London with Arwen?
Well, yes, because you see, different. Arwen
the production looks really different. And I was watching it, and there's a bit where they're like standing on a log talking to each other, and it's like it kind of looks not quite what the rest of the film looks like, if that makes any sense.
This is where the studio interfered, because Arwen is not a big part in the books, and they felt that there needed to be a romantic thing, and although it doesn't show it in as much in the appendices, I reckon that Peter Jackson went back and forth quite a lot. Yes, some of the Arwen moments don't, but then Arwen's in, as I said, Arwen's in that shot with the nine Nazgul chasing, and the way they all come in and chase her through that, it's really cool. It's one of those occasions where I actually mostly like the additional Arwen scenes, because it fleshes out the character, and in the films it makes kind of sense, because then it gives you context in the Two Towers when there is another person around, that and why Aragorn remains the way he does. And so you needed that context, and you needed, again, it needs to be earned on screen, so they added those additional scenes. It does kind of make sense. Yes, I know what you mean, but I can forgive it, because I just I love the casting of these films. I love the tree elves, which is not in the
yeah.
I liked that moment. That's a real, because I remember visualizing that in the book. The great thing about these extended editions is they include the important bits in the book. Sorry, Tom Bombadil fans, but go and watch it again. Tom Bombadil just would not have worked in this film, just wouldn't. But the stylization, the way they envision Middle Earth, and I always remember. See, this is the thing. These films hold a special place in my heart, and it's actually the Two Towers, for a different reason to you. Why it's one of my favorite. There's a lot I like about Return of the King, and there's a lot I like about the Two Towers, but where Helm's Deep is,
yeah.
And we're talking. I'm jumping ahead, but this is the reason I love these films. My grandparents, their other daughters, and my mum's sister, lived in New Zealand when I was growing up. My grandparents used to go out there every 2 years, and they would do these huge hikes, and they would get all these pictures. And as a kid, when I used to go to my grandparents, they had all these pictures, and one of them is Helm's Deep. And they'd walked it, and I always remember looking at these pictures and listening to like the BBC version of Lord of the Rings, or because my mum had read Lord of the Rings to me, going, that it does look like Middle Earth to me. It does. And when they use New Zealand as the backdrop of it, it just works for me, and that's why it is the weakest of the three films. But it does a lot. It sets up a lot. It sets up all the characters, and it does it well. And it gives us all those moments, and then it does all that setting up so we can jump straight into Two Towers. And they're all very different movies. They are very different movies, and you look at the Two Towers, and the characters, although recognizable, in very different places in the next film, and you needed this to get to that, because it makes that much more meaningful.
So one of the things that wasn't in there was the gift giving scene. All that happened was, in the original theatrical cut, is what's her name? Galadriel cans the star juice. I'm going to call it star juice. To Frodo, but no one gets to see it. So it's like kind of Merry and Pippin get 2 daggers, and then she gives some rope to Samwise, and you're like, and Samwise is like, "Can I have a dagger? They look so much cooler." It's like, no, you're going to need the rope more than the dagger. And it's funny because it's funny because if you know anything about what do you call it, like the tools and stuff. There's it's referred to in gaming as like kind of the most games revolve around the stick, but there are some games that revolve around using the rope, and that was one of the main things of a thing called Death Stranding. And I just thought about that when watching it. The other thing I thought about when watching was that Babylon 5 has got more in common with Lord of the Rings than it does with Star Trek or Star Wars. Because there's so many bits in there. Strider's pretty much the same kind of person as Sheridan. Oh, we're in this Delenn. Yeah, and I was just like, it's weird how you kind of, my brain just went, oh yeah. And then you've got like kind of the thing with the shadows looking out into space, like the big scary eye, and the Nazgul and whatnot. And yeah.
That gift-giving scene is pivotal in Gimli's journey. Because, and I love that they got that back in there, where Gimli goes, I couldn't ask for anything, and then I had a thought, and I asked for a single strand of her hair, and she gave me 3. And it's the look on his face, and it's perfectly acted. It's perfectly put in there, and that's the point where he turns, because he starts off really fucking hating elves, and there's every good reason to why. That did just perfect scene, and it sets up Galadriel. And this is Galadriel. This is Galadriel. Not warrior nun Galadriel. This is Galadriel.
The other thing too is what do you call it? There's a lot of references to stuff that happens in The Hobbit. And it's weird because now I've seen The Hobbit, I can picture those bits like we talked about, like Rivertown and the dwarfs and whatnot. And I can picture that now because of the film, which is great. I also love the way, I don't know if it was because I hadn't watched it in a while, that Gandalf, when he sees the ring and he knows what the ring does and he senses it, becomes very scared of the ring. And I love the way that they put that across. Because he is like kind of, I can't, because he leaves it by the fucking door because he's not even going to touch it. So I can't touch that. If I touch that, we're all fucked. That's how scared he is of it.
There's a bit, and I'd love to know how they do it, because I watched it about 6 times, and I can't figure out how the fuck they did this shot, right? The bit at the beginning in the prologue where Isildur cuts the ring off Sauron's hands, and he picks up the ring, and the ring is huge because Sauron was this huge guy,
huge, yeah.
and the ring shrinks, and you see it shrink, right? Because it visually gets smaller, and I don't know how they did it. Right, I know how they did a lot of the shots in this film, right? I know. I don't know how the hell they did that, and I still can't work it out. It must be some kind of optical illusion, but it does shrink. And it's really clever. I don't know if they dolly zoomed it or what, but reverse dolly zoomed it. But whatever they do, and then the ring twists, and it's much, much smaller. The ring shrinks. Really,
yeah, because they also added the bit where he gets attacked and he puts it on to disappear.
Yes.
And then he goes into the river, and the ring drowns him.
Yes.
Well, it starts to drowning, and then he gets shot in the back with arrows.
Mm-hmm.
And then it comes off his finger to sit in the river for God knows how long.
There's a much extended prologue to this film. And again, I love the fact that we get that extended prologue. I love that we get more of Gandalf's journey. The first time we see Barad-dûr, and then you get the full extent of Barad-dûr with the eye. The Lego model of Barad-dûr is out. I just haven't got the space for it. I mean, again, the only criticism I really have is it's that passing of time, that period of time in between, for Bilbo's birthday and Frodo departing, and even the bit where Gandalf comes back. There's at least another. I think it's about 6 or 7 months. It's quite a period of time before Frodo leaves, right? And I know, okay, I get why they didn't put that in, because you needed that sense of urgency. But again, a lot happens whilst Gandalf is imprisoned before he gets to Rivendell to meet up with them, because basically they cut down and destroy all the trees and build the army before he escapes. So there's a period of time there. But I love that we see Minas Tirith, and again, everybody goes, "Oh, you don't see Minas Tirith until the third film." No, you see it in the first film, and that's not the extended edition. It's in the theatrical cut as well. You just don't realise you're seeing Minas Tirith.
Did they have the sacking of the Shire in the theatrical version?
They don't really have the sacking. No, they didn't, and they don't really have the sacking of the Shire in this. But they do it. In
it's when it's when Galadriel does the pensive with him. That's the best way of describing it. She pours some water in, stick your face in here, and she shows him the shack in the Shire. I'm not joking. There's one scene there where it looks like they've put up a railway station. It looks like it goes grey and horrible, and it looks like a railway station. And I'm like, I think Tolkien would approve of that, considering he didn't like the industrialization of the country.
Yes, he did. And Peter Jackson talks about it and why they didn't do the sacking of the Shire. I mean, people already bitch and moan how many endings Return of the King has. Can you imagine if they put the sacking of the Shire in there as well? I kind of appreciate that, why they didn't do that. And we can come back to that in Return of the King, but I like the fact that they featured it in the Dream here, and it was deliberately done exactly the way you say, because again, famously, Peter Jackson says what he does about these three films. It's not about us, you know, we're not putting ourselves into these films, we're putting Tolkien into these films, and I think he does it well. He gets the essence of Tolkien. I mean, there's some amazing fight scenes. The battles in this are really cool. I mean, you know, I love the fact, like, there's one with Legolas with the fucking arrow. He stabs one Uruk-hai, right? Pulls it fucking back out, loads his arrow, bomb, kills another one. That's so cool. I mean, if you like battle porn, right? All three of these movies have amazing battle porn, right? And I love it.
When he's beaten, when Aragorn takes on that big Uruk-hai at the end, I was worried that it was going to turn into the Monty Python sketch, where he cuts his arm off and then cuts another arm off, and then he thought it was going to come from some more. It's. I did like I liked that fight. That was a good fight. Balrog's fucking awesome.
Yes.
It's one of the best bits of special effects in the entire film. It's fire and shadow all at once, which is great. Which is, I imagine, is probably what was written on the paper, something along the lines of it being something between fire and shadow. But it's fantastic.
Coming back to time, what it doesn't show is how long they spend in Lothlorien. They spend quite a lot of time in Lothlorien before they leave again to recoup, because the Balrog fight, which we then get in the the two towers, actually takes a long time. And Gandalf being reborn takes time. I believe, if you look at the time, it's about a year. Because they spend time in Lothlorien. But again, I liked the extended edition bit of that. And I love the scene where the look on his face when Gimli's walking through, you know, into the woods, and it's got the thing on him like that. Just the humor is brilliantly done. The music, God, this has got to have one of the best fucking scores. Just the music to these films is bang on. And
it's
go on.
But one other thing I liked was they found where Bilbo tricked the trolls.
Yes.
Which wasn't in the theatrical version, which I noticed.
No.
Which was quite cool.
Yeah, you're right. No, it's not in the theatrical version. You're absolutely right. Yes, the troll scene. Yes. See,
it's a blink and you'll miss it practically. That's how quick it happens. They wake up, you see the trolls there, and then matey, I think it's Samwise, says, "Hey, look, it's the trolls that Bilbo was telling us about."
Because a lot of it with the extended edition of this one is at the beginning. You know, Bilbo's extended thing of concerning hobbits and things like, and explaining hobbits, which actually, you know, Tolkien does at the beginning of Lord of the Rings, talks about hobbits a lot. And that's why a lot of the extended edition is at the beginning. I'd forgotten that the Trolls isn't there. I've got so used to the extended editions. To me, these are the films. That's why I insisted on the extended editions, because I know if I went back to watch the theatrical trailers, I would be upset because it just cuts out so much that I love about these films. I'm dying to watch Two Towers now because it gets me wanting to watch Two Towers because there's so much I love about Two Towers. There's so much I love about Two Towers, and I can't wait to watch them now. I really enjoyed watching this today. Actually, it's just such a. You watch this movie and yeah, look, is it perfect? No. But by God, it's like watching something that somebody has passion for, and the passion is on the screen, and you don't get that these days, or very rare.
That's the thing. I think that just going back to the first story of Godzilla Minus One, I think that's the reason that Godzilla Minus One was great. That's why the first two Guy Ritchie films are great, because they're quite passionate films, and you can pretty much see these things in play if someone really gives a shit about what they do. So there are very few directors that can put a film together when they've got no passion, if that makes any sense. I think Ridley Scott's one of them. On a bad day, Ridley Scott's better than most directors. But yeah, if you allow people to do something that they're passionate about and that they care about, they tend to do something decent. Or if they're just trying to get a cheap payday, they do The Acolyte. And on that note, not bad sign off. Not bad sign off. Come on, that's a good sign off. I think that's a good sign off. And on that note, I think we say goodbye for this week. And we'll be talking about Two Towers next week, and then Return of the King the week after. Thank you very much for listening. For the podcast listeners, we do appreciate you guys. I know that we do this live on YouTube, and we talk to the YouTube peoples as they're in. So Chuck, Laurie, Maserati, the Misses. I was just going to call her the Misses. Steve and Biffa. It's always good to hear from you guys. And if you are listening, we do this live on YouTube, and you can come and we will read your comments. But we'll read your comments when we've got time, and we'll put our funky music on at the background. But thank you very much. We'll catch you next week. Keith, say goodbye.
Goodbye. See you next week.